Welcome to another lesson of our web design bootcamp. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about how to install plugins. In the first place, we will learn about what plugins are when it comes to developing websites or designing websites using WordPress, then how to install and use them. We've already spoken about designing websites using WordPress. We've looked at installing the themes, what the themes are. So this video is going to focus on the plugins. If you are yet to watch the previous videos, do want to watch them to appreciate all that has been taught already, so that you would also appreciate this one. Alright, now let's get into our computer. If you haven't turned on your server, that is the local host server we are using, which is XAMPP in my case. If you installed any other, go ahead and turn it on. Make sure you have your Apache and your MySQL turned on. Once those ones are turned on, the next thing you want to do is open a browser of your choice, preferably Chrome as I am using. Then you need to type into it localhost / then the domain name that you chose. So I chose webdesignbootcamp.com. That's wdb.com. So we'll visit our site once more using the URL localhost / wdb.com. Alright, so this is the site that we built in our previous lesson. As I said, if you are yet to watch the previous lesson, do want to go and watch it. But this is the site. So now you ask yourself, how do we access the back end or the dashboard, the WordPress dashboard? If this brings you directly to your site, then it means you can't access it. So in this video too, I'm going to teach you how to access the back end of your WordPress site. So for any website that is designed with WordPress, if you go to the normal domain, this is what you are going to see. That's the front end of the website. But if you want the back end of the website, then you have to add wp-admin. So make sure you add that one. That will take you to the back end of the website. And this is where we have the back end, the login for the back end. So you should remember the email or username you used to sign in, then your password. So I prefer to use a very secure password on these sites, because the moment someone is able to hack into your site, it can do a lot of damage to you, especially if it is a site that you are collecting money on or receiving payment from your customers. So you want to make sure that your password is very secure. If you don't know how to set a secure password, you can check on the Digital School Academy channel. I've already created a video teaching you how to create a very strong password. Okay, so this is the dashboard for WordPress, and in a previous lesson we've looked at the various things that you find on the dashboard and what they actually mean and what to use them for. Our focus in this video is plugins. So as you can see here, this is the plugins. Click on it. When we click on it, we are going to have an overview of all the plugins that has been installed so far. We realize Elementor, Starter Template, then WP Fonts, Lite. These are the 3 plugins that have been installed so far. So let me pause here and talk about plugins. What are all our plugins? Already we've talked about themes, and I mentioned that the theme is basically the blueprint that somebody has given you for which you use to build your own website. So the person has planned and designed something that you can easily put together to form a website. However, plugins on the other hand happen to add extra functionality to this blueprint that you've been given. So the blueprint that you've been given, that is your theme that you are using, has a set of functionalities or a set of things that you can do with them, beyond which you cannot do much. So plugins will permit you to add all these extra functionalities to that theme, so that any other thing that you want to do beyond the blueprints that you've been given, you'll be able to do it. So there are a whole lot of plugins out there, and there's a whole marketplace for plugins. You can go to the marketplace and get any plugin at all you want. So for instance, this Elementor plugin that you are seeing here is basically a page builder. What a page builder is, after someone has given you the blueprint, a page builder is what will make it easy for you to put the element together to form a page. That is why it's called a page builder. So you have the blueprint, you know what you can do and what you cannot do with it. But this page builder is saying, okay, here you can use me to structure your website. And because of that, multiple people could be using the same thing, that is the same blueprint, but you end up producing different websites. And it's just because of these page builders that we are going to use. So Elementor is a very good page builder. They have a free version, which I often use. So you are going to be able to work as well with Elementor. Let's talk about another plugin, the WP Font Slide. It's not a plugin that I'm very familiar with, but I know Fonts plugin. There are a lot of them out there. So basically what this is going to help us do is to put a form. So for instance, the contact us form that you put on your website, so that your customers can come and input their details to make a request or place an order. That is a form. So basically a plugin that is helping you add a form to your site. That would be one of them. The most popular one is called Contact Form 7. So when you go to the marketplace, you see a lot of these things. Now let's open the inbuilt marketplace for WordPress plugins. And most of the plugins that you are going to get there are free. So when you come here, if you want to add a new plugin, as I said, these are the 3 plugins that we have currently. If you want to add a new plugin, you come to Plugins, Add New. Then this is a host of plugins that are here. You need to search right here. Just enter anything. So let me just type in form, since we've talked about a form plugin already. Let's see the variety of forms. So you realize that Contact Form 7, as I mentioned, is up here. In fact, it has about 5 million plus active installations. This means that currently we have over 5 million websites that have this plugin installed on them. Then the last it was updated is 5 days ago. So let me just explain some things here. With regards to the plugins, any plugin that you are going to use, you want to make sure that one, it is a plugin that is being widely used, because if it is widely used, then you are rest assured that it's likely to not give you problems, and it has to be compatible with your current version of the WordPress that you are using. It has to be up to date. So at least those 3 things, you will pick the clues from here. You see, this is the number of active installations. Is this compatible with your current WordPress installation? Then the last time it was updated. So such a form, such a plugin, the Contact Form 7 plugin, is a plugin that I can trust to install on my website, because I know that, well, a lot of other people are using it. Then it is also compatible with my current WordPress installation. Then we have several others. Currently, I have fallen in love with this particular plugin, the Forminator, and maybe along the line I'll install it for us to see. But the focus of this is for you to appreciate what the plugins are. So we have a lot of other plugins. We have plugins that will help you optimize your website, plugins that will help you reduce the sizes of images. In fact, almost anything at all that you can think about, there should be a plugin for it. Maybe you go to a website and you see pop-ups coming on the website. Yes, pop-ups. If you want to add pop-ups to your website, you have to also look for a plugin for that. So you can easily come here and search for pop-ups. Okay, so almost anything at all that you are going to look at. See, we have social media share buttons, pop-up, and pop-up social sharing icon. So you want these pop-ups to come to encourage your users to share your site to other people. These are some sort of the plugins that you may need. Email marketing. Almost any plugin at all that you want, you can find them here. Now let's assume you've gotten a plugin that you want. What do you do about it? So this Use SEO plugin, if you are starting, is one of the plugins that is highly recommended for you. It helps you optimize your website for search engines like Google. So let's go ahead and install Used SEO. And to install Used SEO or any plugin at all, to install them, you just have to click on Install Now. But as I explained when we were talking about the theme, by installing doesn't necessarily mean that it has been activated on your site. So if you install it, what happens is that it downloads the content onto your folder. So now let's go back to our folder where we have our website installed. So you open your local .c, then look for XAMPP. Then in XAMPP, go to htdocs. If you are using any different software, then you know where to find it. Probably in a www folder if htdocs isn't there. Then look for the particular folder, that's the domain name that you created. And as I kept saying, because I have created a lot of websites, that is how come I have these plenty ones here. But if it's just one, you're going to find it there. So this is the very one I'm looking for. Then let's go to WP content. WP content, and in WP content you find the plugins folder. So open the plugins folder. Then currently you see Astra Site, Elementor, WP Font. These are so far the three plugins that we have installed and activated. Okay, so basically if you say install, let's go ahead and install our Used SEO plugin. Once we install it, you realize it wasn't here. Once we install it, it's going to download the folder and keep it here. So let's go ahead and click install and see what happens with it. Well, the installation is done now, and as you can see, the install button has now changed to activate. This means that as it stands now, we have downloaded the content of this plugin into our folder. So let's get into the folder and see for ourselves. Previously, we used to have only 3 folders. Now we have 4 folders. The first one, which was already there, Astra Site, Elementor. Then a new one here, WordPress SEO. So Used SEO that we have installed, the folder that it has created in here is called WordPress SEO. So basically what this means is that we've downloaded the content of this plugin, but we are yet to activate the plugin on our site. So to activate the plugin on your site, you can hit this activate button to activate it. The other way to go about it is to go to install plugins. That is where you get a list of all the plugins that are installed, and you will also see usually the ones that has been activated has this background to it, this light blue background to it. This Just SEO is yet to be activated, and therefore we don't have that light blue background to it. And you can even see that we have an activate link here. Once we click on it, we are going to be able to activate it. Assuming you had a lot of plugins that are yet to be activated, all you would have to do is to check against all of them, the ones that you want to activate, and use the bulk actions. So when you come to bulk actions, look for activate, then you apply them. When it comes to plugins, once you have a plugin installed, there are a number of actions that you can take on the plugin. So let's look at the bulk actions, and we see the various actions that we can take on any plugin at all. We can either activate, meaning the plugin has not yet been activated. Then we can deactivate once that has been activated already. We can also update. So as you can see, this particular one, the starter template, has this message for us that there is a new version of starter template available. View version details or updates now. So we can go ahead to update this plugin. So anytime you want to update, once you get the alert from here, so there are various places that you can find these alerts. At the top here too, this ring that you see here is showing you that the updates that you need to do. Okay, then plugins, this red thing here is also telling you that there is one plugin that needs to be updated. Once you've opened all the plugins, we can go ahead and click this update now. Or you can select this, then go to update here, then apply. This comes in handy when you have multiple plugins to update at a time. So you can see that it is currently updating our plugin. Well, the plugin is now updated, and they used SEO plugin to have been installed and activated. One thing I forgot to mention is that prior to installing a plugin, it doesn't become part of your dashboard, the menu items on your dashboard. But the moment you activate it, not just install, after installing and activating it, it becomes part of your menu item. So this SEO is the new addition to our menu item, and it's because we've installed the used SEO plugin. I should have shown you earlier, but if you are in doubt, you can get back to the previous lesson, watch the ones that we talked about, the dashboard, the WordPress dashboard. You realize that this SEO thing wasn't there. And if we are to uninstall or disable, so let me quickly deactivate this. So deactivate used, and it's going to vanish. This used, exactly as I said, the used is gone. The moment we activate it again, it's going to come up here. Okay, so this means that this is where we can control the new plugin that we have added. So anytime you create a new plugin, it's definitely going to add on, either going to stand on its own or going to be under any of these, the tools, the settings, the appearance. It depends on the functionality that the plugin is adding to your WordPress dashboard. So some of them are going to stand alone on their own, just like we see for the used. Others will be under tools. Others will be under appearance. So you have to pay attention to it. And it's not every plugin that is going to find itself at the bottom, just as you see with the used SEO. Some of them will come and install themselves up here, so you have to be very critical about it. Entirely look through your menu and make sure it is somewhere. It's definitely somewhere, so you can look for it and you'll be able to set it up however you're going to set up. The focus of this lesson is not to set up a particular plugin, but for you to appreciate the plugins and how to install them. So basically, this is the used SEO plugin. Let me quickly mention that there are times that you want to install a plugin which is not available on the WordPress plugin marketplace. So as we came to search for plugins. But the question is, what if my plugin is not on this marketplace? Assuming I created a plugin or somebody sent me a plugin which I'm not going to find here, then how do I install that? So let's quickly look at that as well. Instead of coming to search for it, since you already know that it's not going to be found here, you'd have to get the folder that you are going to use. So there are two ways to go about it. Let me show you. There are a lot of plugins marketplace. So you can talk about, let's say, you can get some from Envato. So Envato, WordPress. Okay, I don't want to go there, but basically you understand what I mean. You basically can download it from anywhere, but how to upload it? Once you've downloaded it, it's going to be in a zip file. So when you come to your plugins, in the first place, when you click on plugins, that's install plugins, or you can go directly to add new. If you come to install plugins, click on the add new button. Then, because it is not here, we can't search for it. You have to upload your plugin. And to be able to upload a plugin, the plugin has to be a zipped file. So make sure it is a zip file. Most of the plugins that you download will come in the form of a zip file. So you just quickly go and select that particular zip file that you want to install. You click install, then you go ahead to activate it. However, there is another way to go about it, and that is to directly put the plugin in your WP folder. That's the plugin folder inside the WP content. So just as you have all these folders here, I can equally extract. So those ones, you don't need to use the zip file. You have to extract it. Just as these ones have been extracted, then come and paste it here. Maybe as we go on in the lessons, I'll do a practical example for you to understand what I'm saying. But as I'm saying, you need to extract it, come and paste the folder in here. Once you paste the folder in here, then it means you have installed the plugin. So those are the two ways to install plugins in WordPress when they are not available on the WordPress marketplace. Alright, so in summary, in this lesson, we've learned what plugins are, we've learned how to install plugins, downloading them from the WordPress marketplace. Then we've also looked at how to install plugins which are not available on the marketplace. I hope you're enjoying the lesson so far. If you do enjoy the lessons, give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Okay, if you have any questions, you can comment your questions in the comment section, or you join the Telegram group and ask in the Telegram group, and I'll happily respond to them. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.